Now, you're very lucky today because you're going to get 2 talks for the price of 1, and maybe a little bit of geology thrown in because I'm a geologist, and I've changed the talk as of last night, and I'll tell you why in a minute. Okay, so we're on the northern Coromandel. The locals probably know where Coromandel is, but the overseas people may not. That's Coromandel Peninsula there in North Island. And I put a few things on here. Great Barrier Island, which is the sanctuary. Auckland is there. And this one here, Rocket Lab. You've probably all heard of Rocket Lab. This is the Launch Complex 1, okay? The Launch Complex 2 is Wallis Island, I think, in Virginia, about to get underway soon. Does anybody know where Launch Complex 0 is? Hold that thought and all will be revealed. Okay, so that's where we are, big picture. Now, I might just have to take a little bit of an issue with Margaret. Where is she? Margaret's comment, we haven't had a shade. All right? A respectful comment about that, because when I was preparing this, I'm always impressed by Google Earth, and the detail it shows you of the geology, undersea geology. Okay? So, let's go back. This is what's called the Tonga-Kermadec Trench. Okay? It's a subduction zone, which maybe some of you know about. I don't know if you do or not. Anyway, it is a joining of the two plates. On the right, you've got the Pacific plate and the Australian plate here in the subduction zone. So the Pacific plate is diving down underneath the Australian plate. And at that subduction zone, you get a trench and you get earthquakes. And there was one last night when we were having dinner. We didn't feel it. It wasn't the alcohol, but it was up by small. I don't think. It was quite small, about I think 5.3, 5.1, 5.3. So not a major event, especially for us. But this is a very dangerous feature. It comes right down to us here. You may remember the Samoa earthquake in 2009, magnitude 8.5. Depending on who you believe, the tsunami was 12 meters to 20 meters with the run-up. These are very big, very dangerous events. There was one in 2017. So it's a very active, very dangerous part of the world. And you can see here this line of seamounts. You can see it comes up here and it's being sucked down under the trench. And all the sediments on here, this is basalt, young basalt, all the sediments on here are going down as well. And what happens further south is here. So this is the extension of the trench. It goes about 3,000 kilometers up there. It comes down here, and you can see all the sediments here being scraped off and piled up off Hawke's Bay. And what is interesting, it's pretty hard to see in this slide, but there's these areas here of massive slumping. Slips, you can see the rocks come out of here. These are, maybe 800 kilometers long. Big, big features. Small one down here. I think the president of the Astronomy Society lives somewhere around here. You better watch out, his telescope is potentially at risk. The other thing which is interesting here is as they look straight, and you can see here this channel and this underwater river coming along here for about 1,000 kilometers. Not quite as big as the Mississippi for you Americans, but it's a big undersea feature. It's bringing more sediment down to eventually be scraped off and piled up here against New Zealand. When it gets piled up, we get earthquakes and shakes, and there was one further up. I'm just going back. Where these seamounts go in and are dragged down, there's a bit of a kink here, and that sort of isolates us a little bit from what happens up here. But this is a very active area as well. As it goes down, the rocks melt to get volcanoes. Yeah, okay. Okay, so here we are. I'll move on from the geology. This is where we are. Coromandel Peninsula. We are looking at the Whitianga Peninsula in particular. Sorry, I get carried away with geology. Sorry. Okay. I know. So that's where we are now. The demographics of the Coromandel were quite a good contrast with Naseby. We are one of the oldest districts. We are the oldest district from the 2018 census. Median age quite high. We're in New Zealand. Very fast growth, 14%. More people means more lights. That's a problem for us. High percentage of absentee landowners. That's where we're totally different from Naseby. We have almost 50% of our dwellings are vacant most of the year. So it's a very big influx of people, mainly from Auckland. This is our situation dark sky-wise. The big problem is Auckland. You can see the typical barrier up there. We are here. This is the area we're interested in right here. This is Whitianga, our biggest lake area, and sand spit called Manarangi here as well. A bit of a close-up. This is the peninsula we're interested in here. SQM readings, quite a lot of pollution over here in Auckland. Great Barrier, 21.7, 0.8, 0.9. This is us down here. We'll zoom in on this. We've still got 21.6, 0.7 over here. Zooming in, this is our situation here. This is our Stargazers BNB, 21.8, 0.9, sometimes 21.8 all through here, 20.7. So this is the area we're interested in protecting, at least this area here. Okay, so we are at a very preliminary stage. We're just starting this process. I made an application to the local council, Thames Commons Council, back in 2003, asking for light controls, which they pretty much ignored. And now our ratepayers groups are getting interested. There's one here, one there, and one here. We're doing here, this area here. There seems to be a fair bit of community support, especially over here at this stage. We do have problems with new subdivisions coming along here, and less subdivision coming in here. They originally wanted street lights, then that was reduced, fortunately, to bollards, and now we've got rid of the bollards. There's just no lights at all. We have no street lights here. There's going to be no lights at all, street lighting in the subdivision here, so that's a big plus for us. But this is where we are at now. Basically, step one on a long journey. So that's why I'm really glad to come here and learn as much as I can about what process we have to go through and how we can get from this first step further onwards. Now I'm going to talk a little bit about our astrotourism business, which is based right here. It started off from this idea from the Sky and Telescope back in 1999, a guide to astronomical inns around the world, and they talked about this chap Ed Vega in Benson, Arizona, and he also is he's actually a doctor. I think he's an author of science fiction books, a bit like Duncan as well, wrote some comments. He gave us the idea. Unfortunately, he has now passed away, but he had a wonderful 20-inch telescope with a nice warm room next door. I thought that sounds like a really good idea. So that was 1999. In 2009, we opened Stargazers B&B. Now, we have a stream through here and good road access from Auckland, which is our main source of the stargazing tour visitors. The access is good most of the time, but this was last month. This is our access. This ladder was our access to the main road for about 10 or 12 days. And that bridge is still like that, but we do have an alternative access, but it will get better. Getting out of there was not much advantage. You go 2 kilometers down the road. This is the main state highway bridge. The ring road around Coromandel cut. It was only reopened after 4 weeks' work on Friday, last Friday. So things are getting better. Okay, back to Stargazers. What do we do? This is the observatory. This is the accommodation area here. This is the observatory office, and this deck here was the telescope. So there are the steps up to the telescope, and it's got a C14 in it on a Celestron CGE Pro mount. 2 minutes. We had the CGE ordinary mount before, but it was too couldn't quite carry the right weight. So the CGE Pro has been absolutely excellent for us. It's been in action for 9 years now. It really works well. So what else do we have? We also have one of these things called a pipe hinge. Now, I'm not sure Alan would know, is there a pipe hinge in Tekapo? If not, there should be. I think they're wonderful things built by a guy in Auckland, made for a particular latitude. This circle, the hole that faces to the south celestial pole, and you can point out to the guests how everything rotates around in that circle. It's designed with the Magellanic clouds in it, the Southern Cross, the pointers. It's a wonderful tool for teaching how things move in the sky, why they move, and how they move. And also allows you to point out the south celestial pole. Now, there was talk last night about what to do when it's cloudy. Well, this is the Auckland Planetarium, the first planetarium in New Zealand. This is the demonstration to the staff. We now have that in our astronomy office. That's it there. A couple of years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, this thing landed in the office. This dome here, made in California, shelter systems dome. They make these all sizes. And inside there, we now have a planetarium. It's a white reflective surface, so it works quite well in there. We also do, like we have gold mine tours. So these are some guests, and this is underground. apologies to Graham Murray, but perhaps we could be called the Earth Night Sky. Okay. That's our bedroom here, one of the guest bedrooms. I'd like to offer everybody here tonight 20% discount for accommodation